Good evening, guys. How's it going? This is Patrick, and you are trading with Prime. Welcome, welcome to the weekend edition here. We're gonna get right into it. Something a little bit different. Well, let's see here. Let's see, make sure we're not having any issues here. Oh, looks like everything is working. I guess we'll see. I guess we will see. Okay, we're gonna get right into it. Let me make sure I post the link in the Discord. I did. Oh, hopefully it's the right link. And by the way, guys, if you need the link every single week, another alternative option is going to this Trading with Prime. Excuse me. Going to this Trading with Prime channel on YouTube. Hit the bell notification, and you will be notified as soon as we go live in any new video that we upload. Let's see here. Reading the Discord here, make sure we got it right. All right. So you know what I'm gonna do first, actually, is I'm gonna go. Let's see here. I'm gonna go into. Okay, let me pull up the proper Discord. I don't want everyone to get all my personal information off the Discord. Make sure that's the right thing. Okay, here it is. Discord. Pretty soon, this is going premium. If you're not in now, go ahead and hit the, you know what? I'm going to post a link in the comment section or into the description under the video. You can click on the link. It'll bring you into the Discord. For anybody who's new, welcome. Awesome. We're going to go right into it. Let me pull up my little pen here. I just want to make sure that the correct screen is on. So just looking at this, you know what? I don't even want to go into all of these things. However, there's something that I was asked to show, and that is, aha, here it is. Check this out. People should be reading this, right? When you're in the Discord, you've accepted it. You've clicked a little down here. We put a little instruction down here. Go ahead and hit this checkbox so the server knows that you are in the server. Well, the bot will know. If you're in before the cutoff date, you are lifetime member for free. Okay, so let's get into it. This is going to be an interesting day. I'm going to close Discord. I really don't need it open. OBS is streaming. Okay, let's go right into this, okay? Hey, by the way, pay attention this weekend or this week because we have Jerome Powell. I believe this is Wednesday, the 26th. Get ready with the Powell puts. As we saw last week, let me see something here. Let me go into the chart here. You know, we saw a little bit of movement last week. I think it was. I mean, everybody panicked. It really wasn't that big of a day, but I think, or that big of a deal. But I think it was on 8/11, or possibly even a few days ago. And so it turned into kind of a huge thing. People were really wondering about this. It's you know, really not that big of a deal. If I go into the, let me zoom in. I've really messed around with the Thinkorswim a little bit. We saw a little bit of selling a few days ago. So market breadth. You know, before I get into the market, let's go ahead and look at the, let me go back to my other screen here. Let's look at what we have on the calendar for, so we have the Jerome Powell's on Thursday. Okay. As far as the economic outlook or the economic calendar for the market this week, we have, you know, I was scrolling through here and I'm looking at, yeah, we have durable goods, new home sales. There was one that I saw, oh, GDP revision. Now, keep in mind with these revisions, it's what's funny about this is that if you have really good numbers coming out, whether that's unemployment numbers or, and how's my mic? Can you guys hear me okay? If you can't, if I'm screaming in the mic, let me know. Hopefully I'm not screaming too loud. If I am, just turn it down. Okay. So here's the thing with GDP, the way it works, or with anything really, like you'll have an initial number that comes out, and then after that number comes out, you're going to get like a revision. Some time will pass and you'll get this revision. Well, the funny thing with these numbers is that they'll post a quote unquote good number, and then the market will either rally or it will sell off. Excuse me. However, it will view that as either positive or negative. The market will view it as such. And it's pretty extreme. You know, you see a pretty big reaction one way or the other. The funny thing is a month later, they come out with some numbers and it can be contrary to the numbers that they had before, and the market just doesn't even care. So the market really looks for the first set of numbers. That's the one the market uses. Maybe over time, the market will kind of, you know, if we see too big of a revision, maybe it will be affected. But sometimes you'll see, it's like an earnings report where you see a complete overreaction to the earnings, and then it changes a little bit, or some news will come out and then it's not really the case. A lot of times it's that first initial reaction that you get the biggest reaction, and that's another reason why sometimes it's not good to actually take a bet before the reaction itself. So this is, you know, looking at the calendar ahead, we had, of course, the jobless claims coming in. And then we go into the following week. So let me go back to just something I wanted to just look at since it is Sunday. We are seeing a little bit better unemployment numbers, and I don't mean better overall. Like, these are still pretty bad numbers, but you saw the initial numbers coming out, and then you see a tag here and then another tag here, and so we are coming down, you know, to a little bit lower of a level. It is still a really bad number, but that's to be expected. I mean, this is, you know, the age we live in right now. Something else I wanted to pop up here. Let me look at SREAM. Also, I'm going to go into this. So this is the GDP. Again, I just want to take a look at the market as, obviously, you know, a question we have to ask ourselves. So this is the GDP for the US economic growth. We are at negative 32.9%. S&P 500 all-time highs. Yeah, you know, there might be something wrong with that a little bit. The thing is maybe this is the low. Maybe we get better numbers from here on out, you know. Let's look at, there's another one I wanted to look at. Small cap versus large cap. Let's look at that one. So this is the US small cap value versus large cap growth. And this is something that's a little bit interesting because we see a little bit of a divergence in this area. Now, of course, this goes back all the way to, let me try to zoom this in for you guys. This goes all the way back to 1994. And we go through time, and as we're going through time, you know, we come into currently. Well, the funny thing is you started to see a sell-off it started to roll over kind of back in 2017, probably as tech. You know, you saw after the dot-com bubble, it kind of rocketed. And then as we gone through time, tech has kind of taken the lead, and small cap value probably isn't as good as tech. And so what I'm looking for in small cap is some sort of a bottom, which we haven't really even seen yet, compared to, say, the NASDAQ. Okay. Let me look at another one. This is the S&P 500. You know, let's just zoom in here. So just for all intents and purposes, this is an average bullish year in the market. This is just an average year, kind of going straight across. This is obviously the blue one that we see here. This is 2020. And then the average bearish year, you see just kind of a pullback here. So what we saw is we saw the rubber band snap to the downside, and then you saw it snap back to the upside. The question is, where do we go from here? We're kind of at all-time highs, so which were where we were a few months ago, so, or earlier this year. So that's something to keep an eye on as far as where are we headed. Close this. Let me close this. I don't want any of this. No, let's close this. Just minimize that. So looking at the week ahead, just to look at the markets really quick. And so what we're doing tonight, guys, is you know, I want you guys to go ahead and start posting, like, if you want to look at tickers, let's post them in the comment section. If you have questions about technical analysis, post them in the comment section. And what I want to do is, by the end of this video, or the end of this stream, hopefully midway through, we can start looking at some of these tickers. I want to cap this to roughly an hour long. It is 509 right now. So by 610, I want to be wrapping up. You know, actually, one more thing I want to look at. So while we're looking at the cues, this is just so you guys can kind of get a sense of like, what am I thinking during my trading week? I am a swing trader. What am I looking at? What am I thinking? You know, we're going to get into some stocks. I've got a list of stocks for you guys throw on your watch list this week. And I would love to see your guys'. So just what I'm thinking here, you know, cues, are they extended? Yes. Can they continue being extended? Yes. Am I expecting some sort of a pullback? It's possible. I would love the pullback. I don't know when it's going to happen. Something to kind of keep an eye on, and I want to make something kind of clear with this because I'm getting a lot of questions about Apple. I'm getting a lot of questions about Tesla and a few others. Apple's trading from the March lows. Apple's up 131%. Can it keep going? Yes, absolutely. Do I think there's going to be a pullback with Apple? Yes, I do. There always is. There will be a buying opportunity. I'm a swing trader. Is this a good buying opportunity? No, it's not. But do I think Apple's worth $500 a share? I don't know. I mean, it's so far, I wish I had the link to it, but Apple is trading at, I believe Apple just surpassed in market cap the Dixie, which is UK's index, one of UK's indexes. And so I don't know. I mean, Apple's a strong company. Every single portfolio in the world has Apple in its holdings. I have long-term Apple. A lot of people do. All this to say, it's extremely bullish. It probably will continue on. I don't know how much longer, but I am also expecting a pullback, whether that's, you know, after the split, you know, we'll see here. Let's look at Tesla, and I'm not going to dive too much into Tesla. I just wanted to look at the chart. Actually, this isn't what I wanted. Hang on. There's something else I wanted here. Well, I want to look at Tesla, but I actually have a picture for it. It makes it easier to see. So this is Tesla. You know, and I don't know. Right now, here's the thing. So in 13 months, we've ran 1,000%. Right? I'm not saying Tesla's probably going to keep going higher. It's bullish, right? And again, Tesla's in the same boat Apple's in. We all have, or you know, maybe a lot of us have, or our retirement funds have Tesla in the fund. You know, if you bought Tesla back, you know, $300, $400, $500, $600, is it something that I would hold? Yeah. I mean, honestly, we do see value in electronic vehicles. There's a lot this company has to offer. It's very speculative. They need to start doing more with profiting. They had, they had a killer quarter. You know, they put out some really good numbers. Huge upside potential in Tesla. But do I want to be a buyer at this price up here? You know, or would I rather it pull back a little bit? I mean, I'd be happy with a couple percent pullback. You know, I'd be happy with 10% pullback. This is more of a warning to people who are new traders. Whether you're a long-term believer in Tesla or not, I promise you there is going to be a pullback. I promise you. Now, I don't know when it'll be, but there will be a pullback. And I don't mean just from the split. That's not a pullback. The chart will look the same after the split. Other than it won't be 2,000 a share. You know, it'll be a fifth of that. Let's go to one more chart here. And this is what I mean. How many of you guys have been around since... Now, I wasn't trading live with live money in 2012. I didn't start trading live money until 2016, 17, somewhere in there. So here's the thing. A stock, this is what it normally does. It runs up. Oh, let me look at this comment section here. Yeah, Mark, it probably was $19 10 years ago. I mean, I don't know exactly when the IPO was. I was probably around the same time here. Let's look. Let's go. Okay, so 2009. You're looking at 19 bucks. It's run, let's say from $19 roughly, it's run 11,000%. You know, nothing major. So, I mean, that's the thing is it worth 2,000 a share? That's in the eye of the beholder. I would love to say it is since I have long-term shares. My long-term shares I bought in 2018. There was a little flash crash in 2018. Um, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder. Let's go to okay. This is what I wanted to look at. So this is BPTH. I don't know how many of you guys have been around trading for a while. This company is a biotech company. The name is irrelevant, so don't focus on the name because I know a lot of people will say, well, yeah, but that's, you know, biotech or medical or what, you know. I'm talking about conceptually these parabolic moves eventually correct. And just to give you an idea of what this correction could look like, I'm not saying Tesla's going to go down 56%, but 56% is to right there. That box represents 56%. So I'm not saying that Tesla has to drop 56%. I'm just saying if you're a firm believer in the company even, and let's say we believe Tesla's going to go to 5,000. Well, why not wait a couple months and let it pull back a little bit? And by the way, a pullback doesn't have to be in price. A pullback can be in time, since we're on this subject. And pullback can be in time. So what I mean by that, well, it could trade sideways, right? So a pullback could be, let me get this stuff up. This stuff's driving me crazy here. So a pullback could look something like this. So we run up, pull back, run up, pull back. But see how this last pullback, it doesn't look like it now, but this was more in price and time. But it's possible that we, you know, run up higher even and pull back. The pullback doesn't have to be down in price. It can be trading sideways, and that's good enough for me. Allow these moving averages to catch up. And then maybe see higher prices if that's how you want to trade it. Okay, let's get off of this. Let's get off of my soapbox. So guys, thank you, Brett. So, I mean, go ahead and feel free to start posting your tickers in the watch list into the comment section, and I will go ahead and start diving into the technical analysis on them. There's a few ones that I wanted to look at. You know, yeah, we could go back into the market. We're at all-time highs. I don't know what kind of analysis I could do. Yeah, we'll probably continue making a little bit higher prices. We're going to get every aunt, brother, uncle, family dog to buy calls. Once that happens, once everyone and their mother starts buying calls, that's when they're going to pull the rug out. If they were going to pull the rug out. Who knows? Maybe they won't. Right? Remember, I don't know, were you guys trading back here before the crash? And I remember this buildup. I remember the repo market. I remember this last year. I mean, you know what? We could go back further than this. This entire section, if we go back to the repo, all this repo action, interest rates, I mean, the market was really driving the Fed. You know, the market was really pushing the Fed into anyway, well, we won't get into it. All I'm saying is the market's job is to get as many people into the boat as possible, and that's what it did. And as far as the daily chart, and I don't mean to sound completely bearish, I'm just, let's see here. Let's just look at the daily chart. So just remember this time period back here. We saw coronavirus news come out. The market pulled back a little bit, and then it rallied some more. It made it feel like it would never stop. It's just going to continue on higher. It's never going to turn, you know, and more coronavirus news came out, and there was a nursing facility in Kirkland, Washington that had some cases, and then it just started escalating, and then, you know, one thing turned into another, and then fear took over. And then after the fear takes over, institutions buy. They buy into it, and then they buy it again, and they buy it again. At a certain point, I mean, I don't know. You know, we're getting low on volume. Volume's going down, but to be honest, the volume can continue going down for the next 10 years as the market goes up. But it is something to just kind of look at. So right now, what's going on? Probably higher prices. I'm looking at the futures right now. They're up 0.23%. I saw a news conference with, or a press briefing with Trump and at the White House, and there was a plasma. I don't remember what company that it was. There's some plasma news that's coming out. You know, we saw some Kodak news from the White House a few weeks ago, and I don't even know what ended up happening with Kodak. I don't know. Let's look. I mean, so, you know, you saw in the news and then it's pulled back. Again, if you're a believer in the company, wait for the pullback. We're down 88% from the highs. You know, the market's a rubber band. So, yeah, higher prices in SPY, higher prices across the market. Most likely. Do I expect a turn soon? Yes, I do. Or I don't want to say a turn. Do I expect a pullback, consolidation? Yes. And this is the thing with the market is we don't ever see this coming. In our world, all we can think about is that we're over coronavirus, right? We're over it. I don't know. I mean, let's just take coronavirus out of the equation completely and say it has nothing to do with coronavirus. Let's just looking at the chart, we have this down, up. It would be expected that we pull back a little bit, you know, 5%, like something. And if we don't, that's fine. Let's get off of that. Let's look at the watch list. By the way, guys, if you are new to this channel, feel free, if you're getting value out of these videos, hit the like button. If you are... Oh, I'm still on the Discord screen here. Well, that's cool. Somebody tell me that? Okay, so if you guys are getting value out of the video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Also, Discord, the link is in the description of the videos. We go live every Sunday, 5 p.m. We had an options course recently. We're going to be doing another one going over spreads. If you guys are looking at particular stocks, feel free to post them in the comment section and we will go over those. So, let's go into this watch list. I put together this watch list. It's nothing major. On watch. Don't mind BA or Uber. We took Uber this week. Actually, this is more of one that we need to manage. I got out of this play. I took the bounce. I'm going to let it consolidate for a day or two or three. Can you guys see the screen okay now that I put it back on? I hope you can see the screen. Thank you, Tyson. Appreciate it. You know, we took this bounce. That's good enough for me. I'm not trying to make $1 million off this. It was at 8%. That's Uber. It's on my watch list still because I want to see it consolidate. And if we can oh, and by the way here, do you guys see this? Do you see all my moving averages running across the middle of the screen? And you see how, this is just a little bit of technical analysis for you guys. Do you see how price chops back and forth through the moving averages? So the more price bounces back and forth in between the moving averages, the less likely they will have an impact on price. I hope that makes sense. I hope that wasn't a tongue twister. If price hasn't, let me give you an example of this. You see how, here's a good example of this. Put you up on some game here. Sometimes. Sometimes it's game. So you see how price pulled back and then rallied, and you see how this moving average right here that's coming down the screen, okay, price hasn't been to it in several weeks. The longer price hasn't been to a moving average, the more likely it will have a reaction with the moving average. So that's an example of what I mean. The moving average will act as support and resistance as long as price hasn't been near it for a while. That's not always true, but a lot of times that's what I notice. Like here's another example. You see this moving average going across the screen right here? That's the 200 period moving average. And so price pulled back and then shot back up, and it hadn't been here in quite a while, you know, a couple months. So because of that, it had a reaction in this area here. Now, if we fast forward a little bit, go back to what we were looking at. That's why I don't put weight in the moving averages when prices just continuously chop through them. Okay. Uber's on the watch list. I took a trade in ESRT. I have no idea what they are. No idea what they are. For a bottoming kind of a play here. Not really a bottoming. I'm not actually believing that this is a bottom, but a bounce play, I should say. Swing trade, ESRT. Something I wanted on the watch list was BIGC. And yes, I know it ran, you know, 17%. It's on the watch list. I mean, that had a really bullish day. I'm not too much into IPOs, but I do like playing them recently. I've been adding them to the watch list. Incredible day on Friday. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Maybe there will be some inside consolidation. We'll see. It's on the watch list. I wouldn't say it's on the top of the watch list, even though it is. It's the highest percent, but I wouldn't say that's the one I'm looking at most. I added TAL to the watch list, and the reason why, TAL. You know, and here's the thing. So you saw this huge run up. It's been running up. Now I want to zoom in a little bit so you can actually see what's going on here. Okay, what I noticed with TAL was we had earnings recently, but you saw this run up. I put in a neckline right here, right? There's a neckline going across the screen, and kind of what I was looking at is I saw like maybe this is a left shoulder ish, maybe these are left shoulders, and then this is a head, and then this is a right shoulder or something. I don't know what I'm looking at here, though. It's the principle, and here's the thing: is you saw an up move, consolidation, up move, and then it pulled back. And then the reason why I'm looking at this as a right shoulder is because you saw a little bit of sell off. Here's a little bit of sell off right here, and guess what it's doing? It's making a bearish flag kind of a pattern. And so here's the funny thing with technical analysis: I see the same pattern, but you know what else I see is that this is just another pullback in a continuously higher up move. You know, I see this entire pattern here. Oops, let's see here. I see this entire pattern here as consolidation, and we just came up from this area right here. So I see potential that this could go to the upside. So the reason why I'm saying the reason why it should be on the watch list is this. If you start seeing price close, if price closes below this level, and I'm gonna say Friday's low, 72.50, close to the low of Friday. If it starts getting down there and it breaks, it could be a nice short setup. And the reason why is if we did a measured move, it'd be 10%, close to 10%. Now, I'm not saying that that's what it has to be. Actually, it might not even be that much. But I would definitely line it up down. Actually, that would be pretty close. Yeah, maybe a measured move all the way down to 66 or 68, somewhere in there, enough percent to where it'd be worth the trade. And then as far as the up move, here's the thing with TAL. I did go long on Friday, and so this thing has kind of been a comeback. It would make these comebacks, and if I zoom in here, let me get it off extended hours. I can't stand the extended hours here. If you guys have questions, put them in the comment section, and I will answer them. Or if you have tickers you want to look at, put them in the watch list, or put them in the comment section, please. So just zooming in here, I went long Friday's low, and this is why. It's kind of choppy. This isn't really everybody's dream come true as far as trading a stock this thing's pretty choppy. It's pretty volatile, but that's why I love it. It's continuously, every time it would sell off, it would just come back. Every time it would sell off, it would come back up. Every time it would rally, it would sell off. It's been up and down. Now, the problem with trading like this is if you're wrong in a trade and you're swing trading this, it will really hurt. But the good news is if you're buying off support and it's overextended to the downside and it's selling off to the downside, it might be a good buying opportunity. I did go long. I do like what I see on Friday's price action. We did close near the highs of the day. It is kind of a reversal pattern in itself. Yes, we're in a medium time frame bear flag, so that could be concerning. you know, what I do know is this: if we get up here again, $77, and we take out these highs, we're going for that 82.50. So that's why I went long. Risk to reward wise, it was there. It was worth the trade. HSBC. I've said to a lot of people over the years, HSBC is going to zero. Awesome. Yes, we'll look at Nike. We'll look at NKLA. And thank you for that, Learn. Thank you for posting it in the comment section. I've said HSBC is going to zero. I've said this for a long time. You know what? Let's go to a bigger chart here. And more, there's a lot of reasons why I feel this way. Not that I think institutions, you know, banking institutions are, well, we won't get into whether I think they're moral or not. Okay, so this is the chart. We saw a high in 2007, $99.52. Lower high, lower high, lower high. This is almost this pattern here over the course of 2008 to 2019 is bearish. Bearish consolidation from the high. And now we've almost played that out kind of to the downside. You know, if you're going to measure that, that'd be a really hard trade to stay in for that many years. But just principle-wise, just looking at it, okay, that's where we're at. Also, this could be a bottoming pattern. You know, we did see this. I got to give the bulls a little bit of credit here defending this $20.50 area or $21 about. But honestly, they haven't really followed through yet. If we started getting prices above this level, I will then begin to say maybe it's more than just a bounce. But looking at the maximum year chart, 20-year chart, they've got a lot of work to do. And here's what's interesting. This is like conspiracy, you know, conspiracy theorists, put on your tinfoil hat. The banking as a whole, if I go to HSBC, I like it both directions, but we'll see what it turns into. If I go to like XLF and I just like, I don't know, let's look at the banking industry as a whole. I mean, this doesn't look very bullish anymore. You know, this goes back till 2000. Year 2000 is beginning of this chart, just because I have it, the chart that I have it on. But this is not a bullish pattern, right? And if I had to look at this and really ask myself, do I think there's higher prices in the bank? In fact, go on your own, possibly look at all of the banking sectors. Go look at all the individual banks. And something I want to ask you guys, and put it down in chat and let me know what you think. Is there a reason why the financial institutions, other than the obvious, is there a reason? Do they have competitors coming in? I'm not saying I think Facebook should be in control of currency or anything, but even Facebook has, you know, is it Libra? You know, there's Bitcoin. There are a lot of other areas. There are a lot of companies, and like even JD has there are a lot of companies that do credit. Apple. You know, I think I heard Tesla was going to be doing credit soon, or doing some sort of financial thing soon, offering their customers. But even you know, all the big companies, you can get a credit line through them, and sometimes it's not a private bank that it's holding the credit. Some of these companies have so much money that they are able to lend. You know, maybe there are underwriters, but let me know what you think in the comment section if I'm off my rocker, or if I really think the banking as a whole. Yeah, I think there's always going to be future in banking, but this chart is not bullish. I would not say that this is a bottom. What this looks like to me is bearish consolidation. Now, I could be wrong here. These could just be a series of higher lows and higher highs. That's possible, but we'll see. Okay, off the soapbox. IWM, I put IWM on here, and you guys thought I wouldn't, I bet, because I'm so bearish the market. Oh, okay, so here's the thing with IWM. It's like make it or break it. And I know I've said this about XLF. The reason why I go long in some of the banks sometimes is because it's make it or break it. Yes, we could break down through this trend line support, absolutely, but we're getting to a point where, you know, we could break down here. Let me get a color you can see. We could break through this, and there's not the reason why I don't like rising wedges is because you could just do this and put another one up there, and then it just rallies. That's why I don't like trading off of falling wedges or rising wedges. But if we break through here, I can promise you one thing. If we break through this trend line to the downside, I can promise you one thing. It's going a lot lower than, you know, whatever this price is here. It's going to go a lot lower than, let's say there is support here. There's also a gap here, 150, 130. I don't think it's going to stop there. It's possible. So I put IWM on here. It's getting close to the risk versus reward. If I was going to take a trade in IWM possibly tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to post it in Discord. If or when I do. I'm also looking at Yelp. I want to get into your guys' ticker, so I'm going to skip through the rest of mine. But put Yelp on the watch list. Also bearish pattern, also a bullish pattern. It's close to risk versus reward. Looking at hammer candle on volume, heavy volume. VIPs, VIPS, same thing on heavy volume. It looked like capitulation. A little bit of giving up, a little bit of institutions buying it, a mixture of both. We are at support around, actually that low of Friday was support, which was $17. And it's an even $17. You can't go wrong with that. I'm looking at continuation, or not continuation. I'm looking at more of an upside with VIPs. We'll see VIPS. Looking at Z, again, another IPO. The reason why is I don't think this is over yet. I don't think the sell-off is over yet. I think we had a down move sideways, another down move sideways. I would love this around this price of, on the chart, I listed it as 34.50. We will see. I'm not going to be a buyer. I'm not going to be a buyer unless we get down to 34.50. We'll see. Let's look at your guys's. Thank you for sitting through my entire rant on all the stuff, guys. Let's get into yours. So, learn to swim. We want to look at Nike, right? Okay. Let's look at Nike. Close this. Yeah, you know what? I want to add this to my watch list. Anything you guys add, I'm going to add it to my watch list. Fill up the screen if you want. We'll try to get through a lot of them. So, Nike, bullish, all-time highs. Tell me this, learn to swim. Do you want to be a buyer at all-time highs? I mean, are you looking to buy, or are you looking to be a buyer, or are you in the trade already, if you don't mind me asking? In my opinion, if something is trading at all-time highs, why is it at all-time highs? I'm not much of a Nike trader. Yeah. So, in my opinion, it's so in my opinion, it's you know, if something is trading call option short term, not yet. If something is trading at all-time highs, it's not my ideal setup, but there is a saying in trading, and it's kind of one of these things where there are institutions that buy at all-time highs. They will wait for a stock to get to all-time highs and then they buy it. There's algos that buy at all-time highs. You know, when a stock gets to all-time highs, there in theory is no resistance at all until it pulls back. So Nike could go all the way up to $200 a share. You know, there is no set in stone. Now, I know people will say, well, you know, we could put the Fibonacci, you know, extensions on there. Like, yeah, but this is the thing. Even the RSI, I don't care how high the RSI gets to. There is no really such thing as, yes, it's oversold, but like it can always be more oversold, if that makes sense. So, but with my style trading, I don't like to buy. I like to measure moves. And for that reason, because I don't know where to exit the trade, for that reason, I don't personally get involved. However, I'm not I'm bearish on Nike or anything. I would love for this thing to just run to the moon, you know. Nike's a great company. You know, I hope I didn't talk too much about that. So I like to be able to measure the target. I like to measure the support, and I'm obviously looking at this chart. Well, not obviously, but you know, you have support. You also have gap support. Just zooming in here. So if I just zoom into just this, I know the candles are huge. That's on purpose. I want you to see this. So we do have gap support here. You can even say it's $107.50, somewhere in that range. If price pulled back to, you know, price could pull all the way back to fill in this gap right here. It's hard to see, but the gap right there is at, I'll give you the price, closing price 106.97. You could just call it 107. You know, price could pull back and then take off, but honestly, probably see price gap up on Monday. You know, but I don't like chasing. I'm not much of a chaser when it comes to these, so I like to, you know, that's not my cup of tea. What else did you have? Okay, so Nike, NKLA. NKLA. You know what? Let's do this. Since February 26th, that's not fair. Let's do it from here. Since April 24th, 673%. Let me ask you guys, I don't know this or not. Let me, you know, and we're swing traders or we're day traders. Does it really matter how much a company makes? Does this company make money? Like, do they have profit? When like their earnings comes out, is there going to be a profit? I'm just going to put it at that. Now, with that said, the fact that it has run this much means that it's worth something, because price is the arbiter. Price is the arbiter. That's what matters. Let's zoom in here. It doesn't matter what I think. Price is everything. To me, I'm seeing two different things go on here. I'm seeing lower highs. I'm seeing lower lows. The question right now is this. Is this going to be a higher low compared to right here? Or is it going to continue down and take out that area? That's the question. That's the $1 million question. So, you know, as far as swing trading it, we are just looking at, you know, the broader picture here. It is possible we continue pulling back. I don't necessarily like the look of this. I would have rather got it down here at the 200 period moving average, and it where it came down to fill in a gap. Let me zoom in here so you can see what I'm talking about. Down here, it filled in a gap back on 529. Well, it didn't even fill it. That's even more bullish. The fact that it didn't fill the gap was bullish. And then it took off, making this other bearish or bullish path here. The question that I would have right now is that's what you got to ask yourself. Does it look like it's going to pull back? Right now, it's sitting inside of a gap. So the closest support, once it's in the gap, in my opinion, the closest support is 36.72, which is the closing price of this candle. I'm going to zoom in on that candle. If I zoom in on this, now you can see it. Blow it up on the screen. So right here, we have closing price on this candle, 36.72. We are in the gap right now. We closed bearish from Friday. I would expect lower prices, but you never know. And then something to consider is this. You see volume pushing higher, and then you see a little bit of pullback here and a little bit of profit taking. Bull flag, possibly? You know? Are you in the trade yet or not? Looking to get into a short. Oh, okay. Now, if you're taking this trade short, that's another thing I want to bring up too. Even if you are bearish, the trade to get short is if I did something like this. If I did like a little simple trend line like that, and let's say I did like a little whatever, I did that, right? So you see a high, a lower high, a lower high. It rallies up. That was the best place. Now, you wouldn't know this at the time because this could be the good place to get short. The thing is you would know you were wrong once price got all the way up to here. So there would be still a little bit of room up there to that would be risking kind of a lot. Or another way to do it is if I zoomed in here, Another way to do it is if that's kind of what I like to do. I like to wait for the actual pullback and then rally. This is like the relief rally, and then you could short it. You could have shorted it probably at this price here, which would have been the gap fill short, and the opening price on this gap fill would have been 52.50. So as you see price continuing higher up into the gap, like we saw in silver the other day, the best place to short it would have been at that gap fill, as close as you could get to that gap fill, because then you know you're wrong really fast and you wouldn't lose a lot of money compared to waiting until it got all the way back up here. Now, I would ride, if I were you, I would ride this all the way to the downside. I would try to fill the gap to the downside. Same rules apply now. If you want to fill this gap in down here, which is on 8.7, well, let price come down into the gap on 8.7. The closing price on this day was 36.72. So think of support around 36.72, right? So if you were to short it, you just got to be careful now, because we're already past that point of the risk versus reward as we get closer to this gap fill. First of all, there's nothing saying that price can't turn around tomorrow and just rock it. You know, at what price would you know that you were wrong in the trade? But the second thing is, if the more we get closer to this gap, the worse off your risk versus reward would be if you're trying to short it, if that makes sense. You're getting too close to support. There's also support down here at 33.98. There's support down here at, 29, 40. Let's move on. Hope that answers the questions about that one. How's it going, Benjamin? OLN. If you guys are joining us, throw your tickers in the comment section and we'll go over those. Or if you have any questions on technical analysis, we'll go over that. Okay, so OLN. So okay. So just looking at the big picture here, we are getting down here. It's looking pretty bearish, kinda. Let's look at a bigger picture. When it's not as convincing, I like to look at a higher time frame. And remember, guys, higher time frames give you a better picture, and price respects higher time frames more than they do lower time frames. Keep in mind when you're trading these, this is definitely a downtrend. Now, of course, this is the weekly chart, but just keep this in mind. In downtrends, what do? In downtrends, we sell off resistance, right? It's more likely to short than it is to go long in downtrends. But with that being said, we're getting pretty far down here as far as, there could be buyers. There's definitely volume stepping in. There's definitely people selling. I don't know if this is capitulation volume just yet. There's a lot of volume through this entire thing here. There is a lot of volume right here compared to this area. Okay. So this is your daily, this is the daily view. As far as support, let's look at this. The low of these candles were already broken. We closed below them. So honestly, I would expect to go even lower. There is going to be support at the opening price. I don't know if you can see this. Let me zoom in here. Okay, this candle right here back on 317, the opening price. And the reason why I'm not using the low on this candle is it's too far away. The low of this candle would be $8.86, which would be all the way down here. I can guarantee you this. If we get down to this price, $8.76, well, no, I can't guarantee anything. Highly likely to get down to $8.76. There most likely will be buyers stepping in. Probably a little bit before that. Say $9. If price got down to $9 in the next couple days, I'll buy this company. I don't even know what they are. Anyway, but the opening price on this is $9.66. Okay, closing or the low on Friday was $9.67. I mean, it's possible that that is the support. Let me put a it's possible. Now, I wouldn't say Friday was a reversal candle by any means, but I mean, that's getting pretty close to support. And you do see a little bit of volume pick up here the last couple hours of the day, it really started to pick up. And to be honest, you see the last several days, you saw a lot of volume closer towards the end of the day. This in itself could be, I don't know if this is forced selling or that capitulation volume we were talking about. But I would want more evidence, if that makes sense. I don't know if you're interested in going long or short, but I would definitely want more evidence. I would definitely be a buyer also if we started trading up and took out the highs. Let's say $10.21. That would become more of a risk versus reward. I would be willing to enter the trade if we can break through resistance, especially if we got above 1154. I would definitely be a buyer above 1154. Technically we're really close to support. And then that last thing that I was saying is, let's look at the bigger time frame. 1 year, 1 day. The low of this candle was $8.86. So if we got anywhere near $8.86, there might also be support at 935, 930, somewhere in there. Okay. Where are we at? I hope that answers the question on that one. On OLN, I'm going to put that on the watch list. What else do we got? OLN. Let me catch up on some of the comments. Okay, bind. Bind. I remember when this IPO'd, watching this parabolic move. Bind's bullish. Right? I mean, this is the weekly chart. You had an up move, trading sideways. Now, what I would like to see is it kind of take out the high of some of these candles up here. Now, mind you, this is a weekly chart, but remember on a weekly chart, let me do this and go back to AM. Let me go to AMD. We haven't looked at that one. I'm going to come back to bind. I just want you to see what this could look like. So on AMD, you saw several weeks. Let me zoom in right here. Oops. I'm going to zoom in right here, and just this perpetual week after week of trading sideways. Look what happens when it breaks out. It runs 56%, right? And then it broke out again a couple days ago. But this is what it could look like. When it trades sideways for a long time. So if you're holding options, it might be really hard to trade these breakouts because who knows how long you're going to hold it for. So this is a weekly chart. Let's look at the daily. Daily chart, same thing. We have support, heavy support at 109 area, which is right here. There's a gap. We have more support under here, right? Extremely bullish chart. Again, moving averages aren't as important because it's traded between the moving averages, or it's traded through the moving averages over and over and over again, so they become less important. However, if we get above this price area right here, it could take off. I don't even want to begin measuring the move here, right? It could be, there's a lot of places we could measure the move from. We could even measure the move just inside the flag itself. But it could really take off. Now, would I want to enter this trade tomorrow? I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to enter it tomorrow. If I was in the trade already, I would just hold, but with that tight stop loss. But let me go to a hourly chart. Let me go to 2-hour chart. Oops. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we're swing traders, right? Some of us. It's at support right now. You could go long with a stop loss right here at 122.44, somewhere in that area, right below that, or maybe give it some room. It could come down here a little bit, 116 to 119 area. Bind. Let me put this in the watch list. I like that. Thank you for that chart. Add that to the list. That could be a good one. Let's look for that breakout. We could set an alert right here at, honestly, if it were me, I would just, we'll go ahead and set an alert. And even if we set an alert for 137, So that way we're getting close to breakout, which if we do have a little bit of resistance right here, it's hard for you guys to see it, I know, but there's some resistance right here, just minor resistance. But if we can get above this and break out and then see what price does at this resistant level, if it trades sideways, I'd be looking to enter long. I can tell you this, if we do break out, it'll probably be a multi-day breakout like AMD. I don't know if it'd be as extreme as Tesla, but okay. Hope that answered the question on Beyond Meat. So, chemical company, Winchester. Yeah, that was the chemical company we were talking about the other day, right? The Winchester company. Wait, let me go back up here. That was the OLN one, right? I mean, you're getting there, like, 990. It even comes back to 865. We had a pretty bearish close, but that could be near the low. We took it out a little bit. But I mean, if this is going to be a 6-month long hold or a year long or a 2-year long, they're paying, what is this dividend amount? 20 cents? I don't even know what this is saying here. That could be a decent hold. NCLH and CNK, could you give it a look to see what your analysis is versus what I was saying? Yeah, let's look at NCLH. I don't actually have an ammo company. Like I don't hold an ammo company, so that would be good to. I like where you're going with this. And yeah, post-election coming up, but Okay. For some reason, I already have these Fibonacci's on here, but I don't know why. I must have been looking at this one. Okay. Oh, that's right. We were talking about this news. Yeah. And since we're on this, I just want to see something here. Let's go to interesting transports. Okay. Pay attention to this, though, too, in my humble opinion. Right? A bullish flag thing going on here. Let's pay attention to this. Right? This is the transports. Let's go back to the one we were looking at. Oops. So there's two ways I look at this. And one of them is, well, first of all, one way I look at this is this huge down move and then trading sideways. Usually results in lower prices, but not always. And so here's the thing is I do see a low, higher low, higher low. Yeah, we kind of had some higher lows up here and it pulled back, but that doesn't mean this can't be another higher low right here. Let me zoom in a little bit more. I don't like this. Okay. Making my life hard here. I don't know why this can't be support in this area. In fact, that looks like support, and I would, especially we drew it over here. There's a lot of consolidation back here a couple months ago, April, May, rallied above, and all it has done is pulled back to test this broken support back here in May. I don't see why this can't be an up move consolidation waiting to break out. And so, if you were going to speculate this, or if I was going to speculate this, and I wanted to be a buyer, I would, let's say 1484. So I would put it. Here's the problem with speculating a buy is that price can honestly come back. Come on. The thing is price could always come back to this, 12. How about right here? we could see price pull back all the way to here and stay bullish, right? There's nothing saying that it can't bounce down to here and then kind of take off. So it's hard to be a buyer right here. In this scenario, personally, I would wait for a breakout, and let's say you drew some sort of line from back here, and I would wait for that breakout. Look what happened last time it ran. And then what was the other one? NCLH, CNK. So CNK, such volume over here. That again, same thing. Break. We had the crash, a low, trading up a little bit, pulling back. I don't see why this can't be pretty heavy support in here. You know, that looks like solid support to me. And every time it comes back there, the bulls take control. They defend that area. I don't see why we can't rally here. It's really hard to take in a position like this. It's like the financials where when you're trading them, and speaking of, with trading these, you know, I don't know, a lot of these entertainment, cruise lines, casinos, hotels trade with the transports, they trade with the financials. So you'll see a lot of rallying in those areas too. But this is pretty heavy volume in this area, especially this day right here, 820. The last several days we have, you know, pretty heavy volume stepping in here. It's hard to trade this because if you're going to be a buyer, like what price? Well, first of all, some resistance up here. There's a little bit of resistance right here. It's got a little bit of work to do, but there's also support here. So I would either want to be a buyer closer to support, if that makes sense. And I don't know if price will even get down here, but if it did, yeah, Philly, like I'm kind of feeling the same thing. Like we will look at the 20-day 1 hour here. Yeah, we'll zoom in here. So that's the thing, is when I look at this pattern, I would want to see maybe a little bit more consolidation, whether that's up, down, up, down. Once it starts to really tighten up, because right now it just looks like it's hard to trade. You know, where would your stop loss go? Where would your entry go? Where's your target? Map all those out. But on the daily chart, this is looking pretty good, other than trying to get an actual entry. Weekly chart looks great. As far as a longer time perspective, like this looks like solid support. It looks like it bottomed, higher low, right? Waiting for a breakout. Personally, if I was going to trade this. Let me zoom into the hourly like you were just informing me here. So yeah, and even on this, and I think you were talking about this one for hourly, or maybe you're talking about the other one. That's first thing that keeps. Yeah, so I mean, you definitely have resistance up here at, well, first of all, you have resistance right here at 1330. You have more up here at 1440, and then for sure up in this area, you call it a zone between 17 and 20. You know, actually, we could say 1660 and 20. Let me zoom in a little bit more. I need a couple more tickers, guys, because we have a few more minutes, so I could bore you with all of mine. Otherwise, throw some tickers in there. So yeah, and here is support, higher low. Is this a bull flag? Possibly. If it ran its course, where would it run to? It could run all the way up to here, 13 or 1430, 1330 through 1430. MGM. Yeah, let's look at MGM. That's the thing, is I've been trading. I've been loving these. I hope that answered the question on that one. Same thing. Let's look at the year-to-day bull flag, daily bull flag, higher lows, off the March lows, bull flag, same thing. See what I was saying? Like these, see how these trade with the transports? You know, they're not in the transports, but they trade with them. Not all the time, but a lot of the times. And this price action is the same thing we just saw in the Dow Jones Transportation Average. Bull flag. Again, hard to trade though, because where would I take a trade? We are kind of above a gap here. We're above we're above support, it's just hard to take a trade. I would want to see price consolidate a little bit more. Even so, I would take the breakout. But you're going to have a little bit of resistance right here anyway. Somewhere up in this area, 2370 is going to be resistance. I tell you what, though, if we did break out, we're going to 2538. And when I mean clearly break out, if we break out above 2250, which I know it's a little ways away, but 2250, we're going to clear these June highs. And we're most likely going all the way up here to 2570 area. Yeah, it was almost like that FedEx. I don't know if you guys saw FedEx a couple. You know, we've been seeing the same thing. FedEx, same thing. I mean, it's just a these monster moves are insane. I mean, it gapped up, traded sideways, gapped up more, traded sideways, and then just this monster move. It's almost unbelievable. RKT. Oh, let me put that one in the watch list. What was the other one? I'm missing one, I think, in here. I think I didn't put one in here. MGM. There was one I'm missing. I don't know. I'll have to go through the comment section again. I feel like I'm missing one. RKT. You know, I traded this a few days ago. There's been a couple like this I've traded. I think I have it on my IPOs watch list. Oh, it was API. I traded API last couple days. That one's been nice. RKT. I'll put it in this watch list too. We basically ran to resistance and then we pulled back. And so on the daily chart, there's a lot of gaps down here that we could fill. Let me do this. There's a lot of gaps that we could fill. Which I don't know if, you know, I know that's huge on your guys' screen. That's great. It's like a giant smiley face. I'm looking for a pullback. You know, what did we just run here? 45% in a few days, you know, 4 days. Let's see what happens. Let's see how this develops. I do like more upside. There definitely could be, we can definitely have higher prices, but would I enter this trade right now? I don't know. I think I would wait for a pullback, maybe a little cup and handle forming. I mean, that's completely, I'm speculating here. I have no idea if it's going to be a cup and handle, but I mean, I would just like to see some sort of pullback, you know, maybe it trades sideways. We are at resistance right now. And sometimes on these charts, I like to go to the year to day. Thank you, Super. I like to go into the year to day charts. And the reason why is I want to be able to see these gaps, but also it makes it a little bit easier to see. But then if I go into the hourly, same thing. So we're just this. When charts are doing this, you'll see this with Tesla and Apple. When we start doing this and price starts getting pulled up here, this is a melt up. This is when it really becomes a melt up. Down here, it's consolidation. It breaks out of consolidation. We trade sideways again. Now it's becoming, when you just start seeing ticks going up, it's turning into more of a melt up. Again, once we break all-time highs, it could definitely go higher, but I don't know if I'd want to enter the trade just yet. Okay. Yeah. Well, we're going to be wrapping this up soon, so throw them in there. I'll do my best. I'm going to get off soon, though. Make the man work. What a beast. I feel like someone put this in the Discord the other day. Somebody put this in there. And it was one of those, you know. Anyway, target consolidation. Let's let it consolidate. Let's see what happens. It's got support here at 146 to 140. 146 through 148. Support. All-time high is 156. I believe it's the all-time high. And so let's just see what happens. Let it consolidate for a few days. You know, it's hard for me to enter these kinds of trades that are at all-time highs. I like to see it do a little bit more consolidation, let the moving averages pick up. But again, it's above all the moving averages. Maybe it'll make a bull flag kind of pattern where you could have objective entry with the stop loss. Target. What's the other one? Walmart. Same thing as Walmart. Or same thing as Target. Ran up, pulling back a little bit. It is back into this consolidation phase, which, by the way, guys, a failed breakout is more bearish. I'm gonna say this really slow. A failed breakout is more bearish had we just stayed in the consolidation period from before. Right? What do I mean by that? Price pulls back, rallies, trades sideways, breaks out, and then fails at the breakout. That's more bearish than if price would have just stayed underneath resistance. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to fall apart. It's just something to consider, that it could be more bearish. Usually it's more bearish. Usually you'll see it come down here and take out the lows. But I don't know if I'm a believer in that. I believe that it's more likely that this is a fake out. And what I mean by that is we're just still consolidating. You know, maybe we'll pull back a little bit. So I would take this trade now, Walmart. I would take the trade if we can break out again. Which, by the way, is why this is a good reason why we don't take breakouts. Or when we do take breakouts, we wait for the back test. As you can see, we back tested and it didn't exactly back test. It fell back into the range. Which, this is why it's really hard to take breakouts. You see that? It broke out. Now, had you been, how many mom, dad, uncle, brother, family, dog do you think we're buying calls right here? Okay. Walmart. AAL, same boat as the rest of the transports. I'm looking for a bottom. I'm looking for a higher low compared to... Now, the higher low could be at any point. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be Friday. I'm looking for price to find. There is some support here I have on the screen right now at 1162, roughly in this area. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But I am looking for support. It's not just gonna, you know, let me do this. It would take a serious black swan event to get price to just fall right through. And the reason why is, do you guys see this? Let me put you up on some more game. You see this consolidation period, especially in here, how much price trades back and forth and consolidates. It's not easy to just get price to fall right through there in one day, right? It's going to take some work for the bears to be able to sell this right through the floor. But I am looking for a bottom. AL, Uber. We went over Uber. Already went over it. Time stamped. Lyft, same boat as Uber. Don't mind the... Let me do this. Brian's... Okay. Bullish day a couple days ago, Thursday. Let's look for continuation. It would be nice to see a breakout. It would be nice to see a breakout here. I'm not going to be a buyer until I see the breakout. That would have been a nice buying opportunity, but price might pull back to here again. And if it does, it might be a good buying op again. But I'm waiting for the breakout above 30.18, or preferably above 31. Okay, we're getting close to the end zone here, guys. If you guys are getting value out of this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, bell notification, so you know when we go live. Try to put out a couple of videos this week too. Piton. Piton is bullish above all the moving averages. It is in a continuous, perpetual uptrend. Okay, above all the moving averages on the weekly chart, the daily chart. Where would I be a buyer? Let me zoom in. Where would I be a buyer? And Gina's. Yes, yes. Do you think we're seeing a blow off top like Frost mentioned on Apple? Yes, I believe that the higher Apple and Tesla, and we went over this in the very beginning of the stream, and you'll see my analysis on Tesla, a little bit on Apple. put, you know what, throw the Qs, throw the entire index into that department. 5 companies are the reason the stock market is where it's at. I showed a chart in that in the beginning of this video, several charts on that. So as far as blow off top, it's possible. We will see. I don't want to say that it's going to happen. We don't know. It can continue. Here's the thing with this. It can continue like this for a while. You cannot short a blow off top until it happens. Okay. Keys got sold off on great earnings. Wondering if it would pull back. Keys, is that the ticker? KEYS? LO. Okay, so let me zoom in here. How's it going, Death? No, you're not too late. I was trying to get off at 6:15, but no, you're good. Just throw something in the... So, where would I be a buyer? It's hard to trade this. Again, when they're this high up, it's hard to trade this. It's looking like it wants higher prices. If we can get above Friday's high, we're going to go do all-time highs again. Right? All it's done is traded higher, and now it's consolidating. So if it can get up here... I don't know where the trend line would actually go. But if it can get above here, let's just say Friday's... Let's say Friday's high. There's a little bit of resistance. Let's say Friday's high, which is 70, 90. Let's call it $71. If we get above $71, we're probably going to put in all-time highs again. What's another one? I mean, it just broke out of a bull flag, kind of a pattern here. Let me go to another chart. Let me entertain me really quick here. Entertain me. All-time highs. Looking at this chart, it wants all-time highs again. But we'll see. ES. Thank you for that. Let's look at ES. Thank you for reminding me. Here's the thing. Even without the vaccine news, even without it, I think it was headed there these last, you know, just looking at what price is doing. 3401. Like a magnet. 3400 like a magnet. It's weird how that works. So, yeah, let's do this. Okay, let's just zoom in here. Slowing down my computer here. Yeah, all-time highs, back tested. If you're a futures trader, that was your back test. New high, back test, and now we're going. No resistance above this. We'll see what happens. Okay, what were we looking at? Ooh, I love JD. Did I miss one? Oh, I missed one. Let me go back here. Gina's to the moon. Kyle, was that an actual call out? Oh, we love Genius. Okay. Yeah. So one thing I'm going to say about Genius and you might not like this. One thing I'm going to say you might not like. Okay. Okay. Here's the thing. See this? I was just talking about this. You might not like this at all. It'll give you another buying opportunity. You see how price traded sideways in this area back here? It broke out, traded sideways, consolidating. And now let me do this. You see how price so far, well, we haven't closed below it. Yeah. The low of this candle over here is $1.18. This Thursday closing price, $1.20. So technically speaking, we're still above that bull flag resistant or support. If I drew a line from right here, the bottom of this candle, straight across, we're technically above that. Just know this, Kyle. If we break down below this support, we're going all the way to here. Mark this post. 71 cents. I know that's a long way away. Highly probable to go all the way down to 75 cents area. Or 75 to 85 cents. However, don't turn off the stream. Don't close it. However, to give the bulls the benefit of the doubt, because we always have to look at both cases, we're above support. If you were going to buy it, that would be a good buying op. Risk to reward wise, you know, tight stop loss. Okay. Super UCX being coming this week, yes. Let me catch up on the comments. JD, thank you, Death. Thank you for JD. We love JD. Okay. It's funny. I think I was making fun of people for shorting this somewhere down here, and I was like, don't short the don't short the breakout. And I entered short on Friday, so we'll see. Or I think it was Friday. Okay, so it's bullish above all the moving averages. We're all-time highs. Nothing bearish. Let me go to the weekly. Amazing. You know? This chart has ran 278%. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong year. since 2018. That was the dump of 2018 and then oh no, that was 2017 to 18. Okay, beginning of this year it's run 132%. And here's the thing that's cool about technical analysis. So you see how price does this, it runs up, and mind you, this is a weekly chart, so I dare you to try to trade a weekly chart. So it breaks out, back tests, it runs up, pulls back, back tests again. Look how price went all the way down to the back test and then ran out. Is that a coincidence that it went down to back test that little spot right there, that old breakout area? And the funny thing is this. Now let me ask you guys this, since we're on JD. This might not make a lot of people happy. Just entertain me. Right? So if you see the same thing, do we believe for a minute, no, that's a bad example. I mean, I do believe the Qs too, but, or the SPY too. Do we think that the Qs aren't going to come back test the breakout? They don't have to. They could just take off to the upside. But every time in history, you look at this. If you go back in history, look at a weekly chart. Look at a weekly chart. I could stretch this all the way to here. I could stretch this, we could call that a back test. It rallies. Okay, you saw its back test there. You see where I'm going with this? You guys see the chart? We started off right here. We ran up, pulled back, went through. This was all a back test in here. Ran up again. Traded sideways, broke out, back tested right here. Did the same thing. Traded sideways, ran up, back tested right here. Pulled back all the way to here. In 2018, the crash, or the little flash crash into 2018. Rallied again, traded sideways, broke out, back test, and you see the back test right here. Broke out, pulled back. This back test went all the way back to here. Charts don't go straight up or straight down, and this is the impression I want to leave with you guys. I'm not saying short it back to that point, but we were wise in believing, or we're wise in leaving the door open to understanding that it's most probable that we're going to have a back test one day. I don't know when that day is going to be. Maybe it won't be the full length all the way down to this price level. Maybe it will just pull back, 10%. Okay, let's go back to JD. I'm off my soapbox. So, bullish. Hard to take a trade. We just broke out, but hard to take a trade. Let me get this off the chart. This is more distracting than it is easy to read. It's really hard to trade these ones that are... Right? Broke out. Support. If I'm in the trade, I would stay in the trade, raising stop loss to the low of each day, or even the low of the next general area, depending on if you're holding shares, or if you're holding long term, or if you're holding options, you might want to just raise it up to the prior day's low. We don't have a reversal candle yet, and I will post it in the Discord as soon as JD puts in a reversal candle. Believe that, or any company in the main companies we trade. I promise I'll do my best. Daku. I'm gonna wrap it up within 5 minutes. Daku. Trading sideways on the daily chart. Is that a possible head and shoulders? Kind of a left, two left shoulders, one head, and possibly right shoulder. It's Sometimes our eyes just want to like see the way things work. Our eyes and brains just want to see certain patterns. Hey, it's only a head and shoulders if we break the neckline. But it's bullish above all the moving averages. It's in an uptrend, making higher lows, higher highs. It's consolidating. It just put in a bullish flag pattern. Let's go to hourly chart. Get another opinion on it. Maybe the hourly chart will give us a second opinion. Again, these ones that are right here are a little bit harder to trade. So me personally, I like to, it's trading sideways right now, so I'm going to wait for it to pull back to support. Maybe at this price level right here of 190 roundish. But also this is a bull flag pattern, you know, in itself. So we could actually wait for the breakout of 230. Highly probable that price will be at 230 within the next week. Well, it could get there sooner than later. We'll see. And if it gets there, would I be a short? Would I try to short it? I don't know. I'd want to see more proof or evidence of a short trade setting up. Looking at APA for the balance, XOM, Kyle, seen this week. Oil being big this week. Yeah, Kyle, I mean, I'm all for oil being big this week. You know. Oops. We'll see what happens. I mean, you have a lot of companies, you know. Something to consider, though. We're kind of not going anywhere. And I know I usually say the same things over and over as far as trading up, moving sideways, consolidating. But, like, I know I usually say that. But we haven't really gone anywhere. We're working off this energy here. I thought there was going to be more of a move. And it possibly could be because it just doesn't look like one because of where we are, where we came from. Or we're just getting really tight in here, which is also possible. We'll see what happens with oil. Is that it? Looking at APA for maybe a bounce. APA. I'm going to wrap it up in 3 minutes. Wait, how many minutes did I say I'd wrap it up? Did I say 5 minutes ago? Did I say I was going to finish in 5 minutes? Okay. It's in the gap. Possible. Wait for a gap fill. $13.26. I'm putting this on my watch list. Thank you for that. Because, and the thing is if we get it, maybe we get another higher low, right? Maybe this could be a higher low in here. Maybe we could start scouting that. Maybe it's doing one of these. Or maybe it's doing that. Maybe it's doing that. Huh? We'll see. I would like to take it after it breaks out. Catch up on comments. How about SHLL? I saw that one the other day. Hey, is Super still in here? I don't know. Anyway, okay, Kyle, let's look at this. Oh yeah, he is. SHLL. Getting close to resistance, $30.41, and more resistance at $34.67. Nice little breakout you saw right back here. If you took that trade, congrats. I wouldn't enter long. I personally would wait for a pullback, but I don't know what it even measured here. We've run 200. The first run was 230%, and so far after the breakout, we've run 56%. We all know that this could run another 300%, though. Anything can run more. I'm concerned about taking it this close to resistance. I would want to see a breakout above. We do see a little bit of resistance right in here. Maybe that's why it had some resistance on Friday. Maybe some profit taking. Pretty good volume, though. I'll give you guys that. Volume on the breakout. That means something. I would want to see consolidation in here. And then look for another breakout. Okay. I'm looking at one more, and then I'm cutting the deal. Oh, that reminds me of looking at, yeah, there are a lot of companies that are, some of these stocks are just so, I mean, who believes that this is just going to go on forever? Right? Ups and downs, ups and downs, ups. And it's just going to do this. Pullback's coming. Don't know what price, what time, when it'll be. I'm going to look at CRSP and then I'm wrapping it up. Reversal candle on Friday on heavy volume. Doesn't mean there will be lower prices. Possible. I would say it's actually, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We're in an uptrend. It's above all the moving averages. That's a weekly chart, by the way. Let me rephrase that. It put in a weekly reversal on, this past week. On the daily, it doesn't look so bad. We are in this little box here, support resistance box. To me, we're consolidating on the daily chart. So run up, put in a higher low, lower high, higher. I'm sorry. See, I'm so tired. I've been on this thing so long now, and we're getting tired. Put in higher highs, higher lows all the way up. Now we're consolidating. I would wait for the breakout. Personally, you could buy it at support. Maybe it'd be better risk reward. Maybe it'd be better to buy at support. And that support to me would come in and around 80, between 84, maybe around 84.30, or possibly at 88. But the risk versus reward is not probable for the long trade. Okay. That's it. How do you guys do? Hey, feel free. I don't know if you guys have already. I'm sure all you guys in here have. People who are going to watch this video later on, hit the like button if you gotten value out of this video. Hit the subscribe button if you want the notifications. Hit the bell button. Join the Discord. It's in the description of the video. Have a great weekend. Thank you guys for being a part of this. I appreciate it. See you in the Discord.